You know, this is pretty cool of today's guest because he could have just picked up the phone and called us here at Breaking Nashville. He didn't actually have to come in studio. The guy's on tour. The guy actually woke up, got off of his tour bus, drove down to the studio just to do this interview when he could have just picked up a phone. And besides that, after this, he has to go back and go work out with Tim McGraw, which is got to be hard as can be. And then, of course, in the evening, perform right before Tim McGraw. I'm talking about Kip Moore on a very special edition of Breaking Nashville. All right, Kip, I got to talk to you about the first time you came and you visited us here, because you walked through the door, and this was actually when people were here in the building, first of all. So the cubicles were full, the offices were full, and you start walking down the hall, and one by one, you see the girls' heads pop up, turn around, and look at you as you walk by. So it's like that old Diet Coke break commercial, you know, where everyone's stopping their work, and now they're following you as you walk into the studio. No one even knew who you were, and you walked in here. And you had like this whole posse.
It's that swag, man.
Is that what it is? I'm like, are you kidding me?
It's that South Georgia swag.
Yeah.
I got to teach it to you, man.
And I'm going, man, look at this guy. He's already got this. There's no way. Okay, so he's got the girls. Fine, whatever. That's the only thing cool about him. I bet the girls like him. And then we start talking about surfing.
Yeah.
And I'll go, he's a surfer like me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, so fine. He's a cool guy. Whatever. The girls like him. All right. He probably can't play the guitar. He probably is not going to be good with the music. And then you rock it on the guitar.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Hey, man, like I said, it's that South Georgia swag.
What
man.
aren't you good at? It's not fair.
A lot, man. A whole lot. Actually, speaking of surfing, I'm going to do a big backpacking trip through New Zealand in December. I'm going to surf New Zealand for the first time.
Awesome.
So, a little colder out there, but I'm going to get after it.
Are you going with a few guys?
Just me, man.
That's how you roll, huh?
Yeah, I did 2 trips to Costa Rica this year by myself and did kind of backpacking through there. And I love surfing out there. Love it. But I'm going to try something new this time. I'm going to do New Zealand and maybe bounce over to Australia for a week or 2.
Do you find it as a way just to kind of help you clear your mind and get centered again?
That, and I like to keep myself on edge as many ways as I can. I like to put myself in uncomfortable situations. I like to like not know. I don't make a plan. I thrive off of that, and I feel like it might not be the most desirable conditions a lot of times. Like I'll, stay in hostels and do this and that. Yeah, a hotel might be better, but I'll have a lot more stories. I'll meet a lot more interesting people, and I just like keeping myself on edge like that. That's why I do it.
Have you ever been noticed then? I mean, now you're Kip Moore, unlike before where when you were surfing. Does anyone ever go, hey, why are you here?
Sometimes, yeah. I'll be out in the water and you'll get the looks for a little bit, and then, they'll end up, talking to you. It's cool, man. It's, I love it, man. I love being out and meeting all kinds of new people, and it's really cool. Like most of them, when I go to these crazy places, nobody knows who you are.
Yeah.
And, well, the funny thing was that one of the guys I met in Costa Rica, two guys I met who are now really good buddies of mine, they had no idea I did music, and we surfed together for 4 or 5 straight days.
Really?
And they asked me what I did, like the first day, and I just said I was a songwriter. Back in Nashville, I always downplay everything, and so yeah, I'm just a songwriter. And then one of the guys happened to send a picture back to his wife, being like, aren't you jealous that we're hanging out? Met a new buddy, whatever.
Yeah.
He had 2 daughters, like 20 and 21, and they were like, get out of here, dude.
Yeah,
That's,
do you know who that is?
So then the next day they were ripping me. They were like, you never told us.
Yeah.
So now we're all good buddies, and we've been surfing a few times together, and it's they've been to a few shows. It's been pretty fun.
Where's your favorite place to surf?
So far, Playa Grande in Costa Rica has been my favorite. I love it out there, man. It's so peaceful, and people are so kind, and yeah, that's my favorite. So we'll see after I get done with New Zealand. I might have a new favorite.
You have to let me know. I was reading about you this morning because I knew you were coming in, and I didn't realize you didn't start playing the guitar until college. Is that true?
When I was about 17, 18 is when I kind of tinkered on it. My brother had one, and then my first year of college, I just I bought a little old Yamaha, and I just got so engulfed with it, and was already writing, trying to write a bunch of songs, and then I was playing the bars, a year or 2 later, every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday night in South Georgia.
Okay.
And then I moved to Hawaii, and that's when I was really got focused on writing, and that's when I was like, yeah, I'm gonna move to Nashville and be a songwriter.
So did you get involved with the guitar because you knew that's what you wanted to do, or was this just a way to kind of
At first it was just honestly, I truly love it for the purity of it. I was always drawn, and when my dad was playing Springsteen records and Willie Nelson and Jackson Browne and those great American songwriters, even at 9, 10 years old, I was so drawn to the lyrical aspect. I hadn't lived enough life to understand what in the world they were talking about, but I was so drawn to how a song was constructed. And so when I started playing, that's what I wanted to do. It wasn't about being lightning fast on the guitar for me. It was about writing songs. And so I spent all my time, doing that.
So when you were playing these bars in college and then in Hawaii, were you doing covers or were you trying to get your music out there?
When I was in college, it's, when you're 20 years old and you're up there and you're playing for a bunch of drunk college people, they want to hear the stuff they know.
Yeah.
It's, now I could go back and play my tunes, but mean, back then it was, if you tried to throw in one of your originals, that's when everybody went to the bathroom.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny. I had this, I had these group of guys I played with, and they kind of would give me a hard time, like, dude, man, we're not going to play any originals. Let's just play the covers that people know, and so.
Yeah. What were the covers? Do you remember? Like, what were your go-to?
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of the stuff, that we played a lot of Hank. We played the Leonard Skinner songs. Yeah. We played a lot of Seeger. We played Night Moves and that kind of stuff. So I mean, I love those songs. So
it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it was the stuff that you hear in bars. Tom Petty,
And then you get out of Hawaii, and was that decision for surfing? Was it just for an experience?
It was for, I have no idea what I want to do in my life, is what it was.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Why not?
I was a lost, tormented soul, I feel like. And, I was living on the East Coast, and that's when I got hooked on surfing. And I just basically bought a one-way ticket and said, I kind of pointed on the map, and I picked Hilo, of all places. It rains more than anywhere in the world. Hilo on the Big Island, just being like, I remember hearing about Hilo in my history class, so that's where I'll go.
Yeah.
So I'll go out there, and it just rains nonstop. It was a great surf. But I slept outside for about a half a year. There was a little hut out there, $50 a month, and I'd hitchhike to the beach every morning, and I'd backpack all over the island and camp out different spots, and it was an amazing, amazing experience. And it's out there where I learned that, I wasn't going to be happy doing anything but music.
So at what point, what was the trigger that made you go, okay, it's time for me to get out of here and get to
I can remember I was I can't remember the name of the valley, but I'd hiked down this big valley, and it was the most amazing, just majestic place. It was unbelievable. It was black sand beach, these amazing mountain cliffs all around me. It's crystal blue water, this amazing sunset, and the sky that night you could see a million stars, and it was just me, just camping out on this beach. There was not a soul around, and I was right there in the middle of paradise, and I was unhappy. I was like, I'm not gonna be happy unless I'm doing music. I just knew it, because I was out there. I was like, okay, I'm gonna bounce around and work some odd jobs, and maybe get a teaching job out here or something, and I realized in myself that I was not going to be happy unless I was getting to do music for a living. So that's when I packed up and went home. So you go to Nashville, and then were you just asking for friends if you can live on their couch? Because you're not really making a lot of money. I went there with no money, man. Yeah. I mean, I lived in a place for about 2 or 3 years that should have been condemned, and I actually think it is. I drove by it recently, and it's like it had tape around the house. Wow. It was $200 a month, man. It was really, really rough. I went 2 winters with no heat. I'd be laying in bed, and just watching my breath, as I was, writing songs, and it was really harsh. But I was writing nonstop, and people that move there, I hear people all the time like, what does it take, and this and that, and it has to be, for me, you might get a quick flare of success, not doing it like I'm saying, but I believe if you're going to have any longevity, I believe that people are smarter than a lot of us give them credit for, and they can see through phoniness a mile away.